Oh, is this working? Oh, I should have said description early on. Okay, it's definitely going to be live coding bracket Python, because this is at least what I'm doing for the start. And first in the menu is AQA AS Level 2018. Well, I've not checked the sound. Well, finish that. Skeleton code, Morse code, uh, coding tasks. That's what they are. So this is, I think, to be honest, I don't know if it's section D on the AS level. It's kind of section D on the A level, I just assume. Streaming software, visibility, category education. No, it's not made for kids. Don't restrict them to over 18 though. It's probably actually made for that thing. No product placement, automatic chapters, whatever. Save. Is this live? Am I live? Okay, yeah, sure, we're live. Hi. Super smooth experience. Yes, you couldn't even see what I was doing on my screen, I realize now. I'd like to do a little bit of live coding. It's Saturday evening, and sun's about to set. It's getting about like 2 hours of sun. As the days get shorter, I get my nice cup of lemon and ginger. Still a bit poorly, and without further ado, okay, let me switch to this scene in Open Broadcast Studio and switch to, oh no, it's not, wrong shortcut on this guy. Okay, Morse code. Actually, the from AQA document is what they gave out not only on the day of the exam, but actually published on the September of the year. And it'd be like advice to families for the preliminary and scheduling program before the examination. Do you think? And so this is worth a big chunk of the. Well, let's have a look at it, right? So that's section C. Sorry. So those are the that's the program. Those are the theory questions. So on the AS level is section C. I should fix this in. I'm such a perfectionist. Okay, section C, of course, of the AS level. And the PDF viewer is not the best. Right. It's a program for converting between plain text and Morse code. So it's an encoding and decoding program, not encrypting and decrypting, because we're not trying to hide information, we're just changing its format. Samuel Morse, to be fair, there's a couple of other people involved, and they gave him credit, which is kind of a smart move because his original one was a bit more complex, I think. It was not streamlined, and that works with light, it works with sound, it works with electricity, and this gives us the telegraph. And so each letter is a series of dots and dashes, sometimes up to 4, right? So a tremendously inefficient, by the way, coding system. If you think about it for a bit, and right. So let's switch straight to the code, right? So we have a list of letters. We have a list of symbols. What we could do, right? So you take those, you put them in the Python. And I didn't. What is happening? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's because I'm in the middle of it. That's fair. That's an unexpected indent. That's fair enough because it's this indentation obviously can't happen if I'm pasting in the console, which is why it's kind of, the console is great, but sometimes you can't just paste the code straight into it. What I could do is Morse code dot Python standard library. No, actually, let's go straight to element by value Python. Yes, very good. Not remove, just well, of a list. I mean, it's an element of a list, obviously. Item element. It's index, right? You ask for the index of, right? And you just want, so I'm going to want to see if I want to, I can use those. I could simply figure out, okay, let's say I want to decode this character, dash dot dash. Don't even know what it stands for. Index of dash dot dash. Ah, it looks like a Wait, I need the quote. Like, look a little. Oh, I've accidentally made a cat emoji. This is amazing. Emoticons, forgive me. The ASCII ones are emoticon. This one's not in the list. Oh, because those are like there's a hyphen dash, not underscore dashes. So now it's a cuter cat. More like a, I don't know, robot. It's at index 11, and then I can just go letter. What's at index 11 in the letter list? Okay, right? So we could have some code that does that, but then that would be missing on the fun of using a binary tree to, go from one to the other. Because the letters, you can do a, okay, if I want to say the index, if I wanted to ask Python about the index of the letter P, it's kind of 28, 18, I don't even know, 16, right? Not very good with kind of where the alphabet is. But because the alphabet is in alphabetical order, you could do a binary search on it. So I could just go, okay, is P at index 13? I would say like, what is letter 13? It's M, so I can, I know I'm above, and you find it. This is much more efficient than going through the list until I've hit P, because I will find it in a couple of some. Okay, let's do this again, actually. So 13, 12, half of this, plus 6, 21, round it to 20. When it's odd numbers, it's a bit awkward. I'm gonna hit letter 13, let's 20, the middle of both, so there's 7 in the middle, 3.5, 16. All right, letter 16. Oh, and letter 16, and then I found so I found it in, middle, 3/4. Okay, the middle is 4/8, so like 5/8. Yeah, 3/4 with 6/8, so like 5/8. F16, not 6. Oh, maybe I forget like how small. I don't really realize, 'cause if that's on the small YouTube window, you may want that bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, I can collapse my files. Don't need that. Might need the debugger later on. Anyway, so if you want to search through that list of letters, you can use a binary search. But if I give you, I don't know, we've done dash dot dash. Let's do dot dash dash that. Right? That's probably your letter. But which one? As it happens, it's tab to complete, index of dot dash dash. It's dot dash, no, dot dash dot. Not dash that. Peter's going to pick a lot of pickled peppers in this video, I'm sure. Right, so it's 18. Well, how do we find that out? Well, Python works its magic. I don't really know how, the data structure. If it's a linked list, it might just kind of go for it. I think it's something more clever. It's probably there might very well be a binary tree underneath that. And to be fair, I believe that this looks more like, yeah, because the space is the space, right? But this looks more like the actual Morse code. I don't know, we had it, not the task, it's from AQA. Do we have an actual Morse list? I'm going to look at this PDF then. Yeah, this one is not as heavy. Is this A? Yeah, A. So they're in alphabetical order, but they're not in what would be the ASCII order, right? All of those things, because that's a number in the ASCII table, the dot, so is the dash. Technically, you could have an ordered list of the symbols, and you could find them like that. But here, because they've laid them out in alphabetical order, this is why they are organized in a binary tree. Except a binary tree is an abstract, right? Well, you could make objects with pointers, and you can make something that looks a lot more like a binary tree. But here, a binary tree is the abstract binary tree, and it's being represented by a series of, well, normally it would be one adjacency list, but it's being represented by a series of them because this is being devious like that. So in the from AQA, this is where they explain this. So this is the straight table, but if we can convert, if I come in with a series of, so we were looking for what? Dot, dash, dot. Enunciation. Not going to look. I'm not even going to look at where dash dash is the one I'm looking for. But I know that I can, in this abstract space, I can say it starts with a dot. right? So I go to down to dot branch, then a dash, then a dot. And now I know it's R, and I found R in 3 moves, whereas, especially since it's R, if I had to go and find it in the list, I would have found it at index 18, evidently, if P is 16, right? It would have taken me 18 moves to find the right thing if I was doing a linear search. Hence, this. But this does not exist in code, let alone on the hard drive, right? Like where, or in the memory where the data is actually written by flipping over some, charge or voltage, I guess, electricity things, right? Okay. So that's the thing to wrap your head around. So they've represented this tree, and this is where I go to the not this one, to this one. I went the right one actually. They've represented this tree in an adjacency list, which, so this is the zigzag material. So they've already done a bit of work on this. They've decomposed the code for you, for us. Okay, I'm kind of like, I'm not much ahead. I've had a look at the task I'm about to start, but that's about it. And so this is how we would part the thing. So let's pick my example of dot dash dot, which I've this time pronounced very correctly. I start at 0. Is it a dot? I look in the dot column. I go to 5. Then I go to 5. What's the next symbol? It's a dash. I look in the dash column. I go to 1. What's the next symbol? It's a dot. I look in the dot column. Go to 18. And then 18, there's no more symbols, so I read the letter that is here. This system of adjacency lists, in that you're saying, if this is the top of the tree, next to it are, this is the top of the tree, which is the space, right? Because it's the blank space, I guess. And then this is to its left, whichever had the dot was on the right. The dot was on the right, that's annoying. So to its right is 5, which is E, and to its left it's 20, which is T, which is right, E on the dot side, T on the dash. And because you build this big tree recursively. Okay, so this is like a sneak preview of later in the spec of my year 12s, but the year 13s will know that. I'm going to introduce recursion as early as year 10, I think. I'm just going to try something. I think there's nothing to be scared of. But because binary trees work like that recursively, the same principle applies. So if you're not at the end of the decoding the sequence, you just keep going, looking into, like, just trying to jump around. Sometimes you have to go back because it depends if you kind of filled in the first place. And this is how you go from the dot dash dash from the Morse code to the letter. Now, I think I'm gonna jump straight to task 2 because task 1 is input validation. I got a video on that. I could always do it back quicker. This is interesting because we're adding the support, I suppose we could call that, it's a feature for a new symbol. And this one is dot dash dot dash dot dash. So that's like 6. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the punctuation goes quite deep in the thing. So it's like dot dash dot. That doesn't make sense. Dash, nothing there. Dot dash. Huh. So well, I can probably wrangle it with enough space in the because we probably don't need to model an empty node, but this still suspiciously long for a code. So anyway, this is a clean copy of the task worksheet, so I can take a highlighter to it, right? Let's no, not this. I don't want to hang up a case. Although we could. This is interesting, but it's different. Those are the methods we're going to change. Okay, so for change of method, change is chorange, Karun. Is there a letter then? Methods, they're not even methods here, right? So scope, cielo, cyan, change cyan, right? Fair enough. Boom. This is the bits of the code I'm going to change. So because it starts with a cyan and cyan. Those things, those are 2 functions. Within those functions, or in fact, actually within the send receive message, which turns out to be the top level one. So again, you can go back to the decomp, I believe, over here. Do we have actually everything on this? No, we probably don't. This is the receive Morse code subroutine. It's not even the full. So we want something that send receive message, which is just the handler to say, do you want to send, do you want to receive? Yes, this is where we go. All right. Well, we can always have a look. We'll have a look. So first one is send receive message and send Morse code. Well, let's have a look at them. So I'm in Replit. I wish I could do this in VS Code, but I'm at home. Um, I have collapsed all of my functions here and receive Morse code. There's a send Morse code or receive Morse code, which do the actual work. This is send receive messages in general. This is the wrapper. We would say it's a wrapper because it's a mainly most of the job this function does is call over functions. And as it happens, define those variables that then get passed if need be to well, certainly receive Morse code. That's definitely going to need the table to decode. And to send Morse code, we just need Morse code because we can probably figure out from the, subtracting from the ASCII index and just kind of looking it up because it's in alphabetical order. So having put it in alphabetical order, I did make the encoding into Morse code when we send that much more efficient. So there's a trade-off there. We could have two lists. Anyway, now those dash dot letter Morse code and the alphabet letter, yeah. Those are the columns from that table, which is in the PDF, that PDF. We're just looking at, yeah. We don't have the Morse code, but like you can imagine the Morse code next to it. So the Morse code is a separate one. I guess the Morse code is its own table, Morse code against the alphabet. And particularly those things, the fact that none of those lists make sense without the other, right? The dot list does not make sense on its own because 5 ask you to go to element 5 of you don't know yet which of the lists you're going to look at. They need to be kept together. So I go to element 5 of what? Right? This needs to be a full table, or actually, you don't need the index, but you need to have those things in the same place. So it's quite devious of the original writers of this code to have separated them. Also, now, to be fair, those are the zigzag tasks. The zigzag, bless them, I said we're going to put a constant called full stop. Technically, it's a variable. But in Python, I could mute myself to cough. I wonder if there may be a const keyword now. Yes, the convention is that constants are simply in capital, so we know that not to touch them. And those should really be in capitals, they should be constant. I'm not going to touch this because if I do it, mind you, I could Apple D my way out of this. Yeah, I have to replace it everywhere, which I could, but well, okay. So to support that new send receive message, that's your wrapper. The meat is going to be in send Morse code. We're not changing receive. That's interesting. Guess we're not expecting to receive a message that contains a full stop. Anyway. Okay, alter the main code to do full stop. Not sure what's going to be in there. Modify the letter Morse code list. I can do that. Let's highlight them in cyan for change. I think all of it more like the place of the change, the scope. Oh, those are. I could have a different color because those are variables, whatever. And this is, incidence, yeah, element. And then modify the dot and that list to ensure the full stop can be correctly received in transmission. So it's interesting because I don't quite need to place it fully in the tree. It seems that I can skip. I'm going straight to 6 character. Dot dash, did they say? Dot dash, dot dash, dot dash. Slash dot dash dot. Old Fatboy Slim tune. That's a fun one. The .com bubble. And over here, right, an extra element with a full stop or a period. American English, British English. And now here's the tricky part. Yeah. Now let's put this additional constant called full stop. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it, but yeah, so that way we know what the full stop is. Ah, yes, because this is considered a special character, so it doesn't need to go in the letter table. Because those characters are modeled by essentially the length of the gap in real Morse code if you're flashing someone or beeping or something. but really the number of spaces in the encoded string. I've got a message.text somewhere, right? This is what it looks like. So oh, but that's not the actual message. I need a better message. I got the wrong message. Because the dashes should be written as three equal signs. I know. Right, oh, say we do identify send. No, that's what they told us at the top. So full stop is correctly identified from the plain text using the constant that we need in that variable because it doesn't need the thing, and sent using the 20th element of Morse code. Right, the 20th element, one of Luc Besson's like later films. Okay, right, enough jokes. Now, my intuition, if it hadn't been had that many dashes in that, is that we would cram it. Right, it's dot dash dot dash dot dash dot dash. Nothing there. So I would kind of grade that one, but let's assume it's that one because it might as well go straight there. Dash. Like all roads leads to this, which is conveniently free. Like dot dash dot dash dot dash. Yeah. So I'm going to make it to the if it's a dash from the R is our attach point, if you will, into those things. So if it's a dash from the R, so I'm not adding anything in here, right? It's something that's got presumably 0, I guess, right? Right, guys. So this is where this table is super useful. I mean, I'm glad that we brief our students on the zigzag version of the AQA code as soon as zigzag put it out, so they always have the breakdown in this. We don't with it, not taught the AS. So R to the dash to the left of R, it's the 12 and 0 is the one at element 18. It's right after a long series of 0. In that dash list, it's like the last one in the series of 4 0 before the 22. That's how I'm going to identify it. The last one, 4 zeros, the 22. So it's this 0 here. This is going to have to go to 28. So I will have a new element at the end, right? Because I've added an element, I've added a letter or certainly a character to that table. So there needs to be something there, and there's going to need to be something there. So I've changed this one to 28. So dot dash dot dash dot dash. This is 28 for now. Well, I can just make them both point at itself. Yeah, I think that should work, right? So if I say, right, if you receive if you're looking at element 28, but you've received a dash, you go to 28. But also if you receive a dot, you go to 28, and then you will end up onto the 28th element when you finish the sequence, because then you can tap as many dot dashes and dot dashes as you want. You're still stuck on that node. We make it kind of stick to itself. That's how we can model it with a single node, so that it's a sequence of, I think it will match this. It will also match the problems that it will also match dot dash technically. But because we keep looking, as long as we don't point back to 0, like we're not technically reached the end of the tree, we just kind of violated because trees are graphs that do not have loops, but we've made a cycle in a tree. So yes, we've kind of put a dodgy hack in the adjacency list. But I suppose in the real encoding system, the full encoding system, I cannot imagine that that dot dash would mean something, but that dot dash, which isn't one of those letters, wouldn't mean anything. Because if we needed to start needing 6 symbols to model one character, it means that what happened to the 5, right? Like when we were doing the alphabet, there was only up to 4 characters. So I think I made that point. Okay, I've gotten lost. Okay, so we have done the letter and Morse code list. We have done dot and dash, which I should have highlighted. High and lit. No, that's not what I'm looking for this. Oh, I forgot to save it. Section C. We're actually doing task 2 of this one. Open the widget. keyframe at a frequency of 4 seconds or less. Oh, sorry, I've changed the scene. I've not swapped it. I'm such a noob. I can't believe I've been streaming. I forgot to do the thing. Oh, that's why the YouTuber should have left this open. Yeah. Wow. I'm gonna redo this one from the start. I need to redo this one from the start. This is awkward. That's good because have I changed the code? Let me change the code back. Well, I mean, I'll cut it once it gets like saved and published. Yeah, that's probably how we do it in the rock and roll. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is live. That's why it happens. I need to have a technical person, but no. But I noticed that you could pop out. I am such a boomer. It's shameful. This guy. Okay, could we keep this up there? Could we keep it in a place I can grab it with my? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah. And so what's happening to my keyframes? Open the studio and no, open the studio again. So what's happening to the keyframes? Is there a keyframe problem? Well, yeah, it's for the video keyframe, isn't it? It just comes out. It's just how it comes out of the codec, man. I don't know. Right. So I've added entries into dash and dot. So when we receive dot dash dot dash dot dash, or indeed even dot dash, or even dot dash dot dash dot dot dot, or dot dash like dot dash anything, or even nothing, will end up with the full stop. We also need to change this. Well, we need to change send Morse code. Send Morse code is here. I can also control or command F. Okay, what does that do? You input your message. That's the plain text. Very good terminology. This is the text that we encode or encrypt. The Morse code string is the empty string that we've defined using the constant. Right, so to encode, we're just going to kind of go and get. That's the thing. So this is why, because the dot. That's why we need the constant. That's why. So those, because they're in the higher scope, right? You only need to define them as globals if you want to change them. Or any function that's defined below that can read those. And that's why we need to have the full stop, because just going to put it here, right, as an extra condition. If the plain text letter is equal to full stop all one word, then index equal 28. Even though, I mean, I'm assuming it's called index with a capital I because why not? Okay, camel case I can abide, but this casing, it's fine. It's fine. It's not the industry standard for coding with Python. This styling of the this is bothering me more than I'm the first one to be surprised. All right, so we've done this correctly in the phase of constant and sent. So this will take care of receive, because just the list is the list system. When we receive, we just go through the tree. Don't need to do anything special to receive. I've done it because I've added stuff to dot and dash and letter and Morse code. Well, dot, dash, and letter for the case of receive, and the fact that I've added something to Morse code for the index. Using the 20th element of the Morse code is which dot dash dot dash. Now the message though to.txt. I hope I have this somewhere. What if I go looking for? Well, I probably have it in my cloud storage. Well, I could probably just go like literally. Just yeah. So I don't know why it does that, and I absolutely hate it. Like OneDrive decided to put like some kind of like dark mode, like night mode styling that like makes the text bar unreadable. AQA Morse code, AQA Morse code, AQA Morse code. So this file is clearly mentioned in a bunch of places. Mm, Well, if I do message.txt, which I need to highlight, because I don't know where I am, so okay. At the end, xt dot. Oh, no, I was pressing backspace instead of left. Oh, this is the one I put in the teams of my class, which, or maybe, sorry, when we encode, I think when we encode, I don't know. Well, let's just find out. Okay, so I'm happy. Let's see, let's just sum up my changes. So all of the diffs, yeah, the same line. Diff, actually, let's do it as diff minus unified. Diff is, so this is not the Python console, this is the shell of the Linux, presumably system, kind of container. It's a Unix style system. It's different. Well, okay, it's a command to find this, I'm sure. But allows to tell me the difference between two files. So I've got my original.py, which stays the original, and then main.py, I make the changes over one by one, and then I'll take another copy of the original to start again from a fresh one. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. So we got my new full stop constant, and then add line 73. Oh yes, this comment that's there, I'm not sure why. It's from before. If the plain text is a full stop, the index is 28, the index in which we look up in Morse code. Morse code has changed with a, as it though, it has. There is this new one at 28, and the letter has the dot at 28. Do we need a dot then? Yeah, because when we, yeah, of course, we go from dot and dash, and dot and dash have the dash side of R, so like whatever's at the index of R, which I thought we established was 18, right? This right, this used to be a 0. It's now 28 to take us to 28. They both, each of those point back to 28, and then at the 28th element is the dot, and we'll find it. So I'm pretty confident, right? Except I'm not sure. Are we sending when the? We'll find out. Okay, let's run the test. The tests are Y enter SSR. No, sorry. Okay. SOS S dot O dot S. Yeah. Okay. Right. Obviously, yeah. Send. We're only testing it in send. Is the key. This the key point. Oh, I've not done the first one, so it doesn't accept the. I should probably do the first one just for convenience. And the message was S dot O dot S dot. Boom. Why is the index of a new element that was added to lists that are as long as the alphabet because they're based on the alphabet? Why is that 28 and not 27? I got this number, I got this 28 number from the brief. Okay, I think I still get them loaded though. Do I still have them? I don't. Okay, let's just start with this, for instance. Just, I mean, because everything's derived from this. I do hope they're all the same length. I hope I've not broken anything. Okay, reassure me here, right? This should in fact have 27 elements, which means that's the one at index 26 for self-evident reasons. And I'm sure that, I mean, surely I'm just going to check dot. I don't think I need to do the rest, but just for my own peace of mind, the length of dot, I'm sure is, wait, the length of letter is 28. Oh, because of the space. Okay, because it's 27, 28. But it's the 28th element, not the one at index 28. The 28th element, of course, the 28th element is at index 27. Such a rookie mistake. It's an OB1 mistake, and off by 1, OB1. And that's the over 28, so of course the element would be out of range. Cowed. I'm truly cowed. It happens to the best of us. I just misread the brief. So we send S dot O dot S dot, and it's still out of range. So what I can do, it breaks at 133. called from 166. You read it like that, right? This has broken here. Send Morse code was called from line 166 of send receive messages. Send receive messages was called from line 172 of main, presumably, yeah. So, let's go to, is it, good one. So it's weird, it's not command, it's control. So if you have a keyboard that have a control that's kind of free, because most of the keyboard shortcut are mapped to command on the Mac, if your control is kind of free, Control G will go straight to a line 133. I'm going to put a breakpoint next to it and simply do it again. Excellent. Send. I don't. If I wanted to stop on the breakpoint, I need to run it with the debugger. I can collapse that again. I'm actually going to put this tab, the debugger tab here, right? Because I want to see, well, I don't know, sometimes I want to see the value next to the code, sometimes I want to see it next to the console, but for this purpose, it's practical that I can go here, do send, s.o.s, and then before it breaks, I've not put the final dot. So it's going back to the code to show me I'm stopped here, and, okay. And it was breaking with what error? I've not been paying attention. Index out of range, yes. S, fair enough. S, no problem. We need to kind of hit it again. Again, presumably right before it crashes this time, it's the dot. So that if I put the debugger here, it's going to switch to the code all the time. We are trying to decrypt the plain text letter. The index is 28, and then, okay, so what's to do with Morse code then? Because that's the only one I haven't, is it the only one I haven't checked? I'm going to stop this. I'm going to Control C out of this, and, okay. How is it getting its 28 from though, right? Because 27, 27. I'm going to, am I going to find in the file for just 28? Oh, that's this one, of course. Yeah, this is the one I'd forgotten about this one. Just it all goes so fast. Wow. Okay, we're back on track. So, can move the breakpoint. I'm sure this time it will work. Did I press exit by accident? What's going on? Oh, I need it in capitals because I think that's why. S dot L dot S dot. Yes. Oh look. Yeah, this dot dash dot dash dot dash. Yeah, I don't think they would have put the dots, like the full stops in between the letters when they were kind of actually morsing out. And so as well, okay, so there was, I have a timer. How long have I been going? What's going on? What is happening? Views 14, average video duration 2 minutes. So I've been going for longer than that, I guess. How'd that work? Yeah, about half an hour, like 25 minutes with the explanation of the initial well, I mean, the explanation, yeah, I should have done it with the, I should redo it from there, is what I meant. That's just what I meant to show. So, yeah, the Morse code, I should have started there. This is what I was like, I don't need to stop the stream, but I do need to redo the explanation. And then I was so thinking, well, I don't really need to stop the stream, but actually just jump straight into the activity of task 2. Anyway, the explanation, I was looking at those things, you can have them in front of you. The point is like AQS, the tree is modeled with an adjacency. It's modeled only exists really, to be honest, past, well, this paper tree that you can do on paper, or in terms of data structure, exists as an adjacency. Normally, you would do it as a single two-dimensional adjacency list or another data structure a bit like that. But instead, we have two separate lists, so we have to kind of figure out what. And this is what the receive Morse code function, which we've not touched yet in this, does. Okay, let's do another, right, bit of housekeeping, very important. So that was, now I have all of the changes. This is still running. So I can go to my shell. Oh, we've done the diff, but here's the diff. Those are the changes for task 1. In fact, I could even pipe it to t1.diff, which is going to allow me to reapply and unapply Would I pipe it with one? That's that? No. Uh, that didn't work. Oh, what's going? Ah, it's not the right symbol, so I want the pipe, and the pipe is mapped here because it's a Mac. Hmm. No, I don't want a pipe. I want a output redirection like this. Yeah, so instead of doing it to the console, I've got it in here. Do I? This is the representation of just the change to this code. This is task one, essentially. And now you could keep track of your changes like this. And then you can have some pretty stuff where you can see, this is how you would review someone else's code by looking at the diff. And that's why the unified diff is done like that, and it gives you some context. They are also much neater and, well, better looking tools to do this, but at the core in the terminal with some text, that's a diff. Okay, and so now I've done this, I am going to rename this as t1.py. The file folder doesn't already exist. What? And then make a copy of this, duplicate the original, and then call it main. And that's actually, sorry, that's actually t2. This is t2. This is t2. Okay. Okay. Task free. Task free. Let's go. The task refer to display menu. Sion. Send receive. Also the question of new subroutine. Okay, if it's new, it's create. I'm going to put it in Crayola. Create. Right, it's create. I want some lighter gray though, probably. Light create. Two parameters, letter and Morse code from send receive messages. Okay. Ooh. P, print Morse code symbols. That's two argument letter and Morse code. In the what following format? What do you mean? Oh, this following format? Yeah. Not really following if it's going to be after the thing. If you say following, that's exact. Should change in the main one, not the copy. Anyway, yeah. So letter, symbol, a pipe, and then it's going to be annoying. I'm going to need to copy this ASCII format from an image. That's going to be quite fun, actually. Yeah. All right. Mindset. It is going to be fun. Cool. I've got a good idea what we're doing. So we're modifying those. I've captured those. We're creating a new one, new menu option, and then it takes letter and Morse code, which we'll get from there, and then we'll print out the whole thing in order. They seem to hint that we start from A, not space, because actually it doesn't have a symbol, does it? Because we start from the letter table. Do we? Sorry, that's the diff. We open my new main, nice and fresh. That fresh main smell. Close that tab, and then, okay. Going to collapse all of the functions again. Get next letter decode, receive. We're not even doing receive and send. We're doing send receive messages, which, because this one is defined those. And then, okay. What did they say where they want the thing? Before X. Yeah, that makes sense. So third option, but before the quit. Ooh, not here. Of course not here, but there, right? You'll notice how it can fix the indentation automatically, right? It's noticed that actually, normally I would be there if I was having some code, but because I'm doing an LA for an else, it recognizes it. If it's equal to P, we're going to call, what's it called again? Print Morse code symbols, which I've not defined yet, and to which I'm going to pass, again, it's letters and Morse code in that order. Or letter, by the looks of it. Thank you. So those are wiggly red line because it's not defined yet, right? That would be a name error if I were to run it, but I'm not. Okay, so let me just put one there as well. We're printing P. Print list of letters. Print Morse code symbols. Okay. And well, after send Morse code, right? Because it's after send Morse code in the menu. So print Morse code symbols, bracket letter, Morse code. The wiggly line here is an incorrect indent because I need to have something to be a pass. Undo for the time being and give a space. Now I've defined print Morse code symbol, no more wiggly at in send receive message in the line that thing that I've added, right? Everyone's happy. Well, the parser is happy. I'm not sure if everyone's happy. So, and then what do they do? What is it? It prints, get a header of some sort. They're using double quotes, right, already, so I'm using double quotes. But if they were using single, I would be using singles. Letter, then a space, then a pipe, then a space, then symbol. Letter, then a space, then a pipe, then a space, then symbol with a capital S. And then for so let's have a look at how both letter and Morse code are structured. Space is space, A is A. So we kind of just skip the first one essentially. So we're just going to go for. We are going to, we're going to do this simply with a 4, but starting at 1, skipping the space. 4. I, integer iterator, in. The return of a call to the range function, but starting at 1 and going up to the whole of length of letter, because who knows, that way if we add more symbols at the end, they'll be fine. Or in the middle. In the middle is really going to mess things up, but notionally, right, it's flexible on this. I'm simply printing, and then I'm going to count spaces because it's got, so it's underneath the, there's like 3 spaces before. One spaces, 3 spaces, pipe, 2 spaces. F string, 3 spaces, curly, letter, so the F strings, well, I kind of owe an explanation to a sixth form class about this, rather than mess around with plus or commas. Commas are, to be honest, those are very simple. If you're doing something simple, print can take more than one argument, and when it does, it will use by default the space character as a separator. Pipe, 2 spaces, and then symbol at index I, and then that's it. I need to close the curly. So if you want to just print one couple of things next to each other with a space, you can even then have a keyword argument that will change that separator if you want it to be separated by other things. But rather than doing kind of like the whole thing where we concatenate string, you use a format string, which is you put a little f before you open the first quote, and then in between curlies, you can just put kind of like Python syntax that accesses your variables. And I think that's kind of it. All right, let's test it. Let's test it. Oh, yeah, okay, and the full table of symbol. Actually, we just tested by presumably typing P, and then it doesn't work because symbol Yeah, it says the header is symbol, but of course it's Morse code. P. Bada. Yeah, looking nice, looking good. Okay, this one was thankfully a little bit quicker. Okay, same deal. Let me get the shell. Let me get the diff in. Well, let's have it on the screen first, if we could, which I must have in my history. Up arrow to get to your bash history. That's the diff, and I want this in a diff file, please, just for my own sanity. Boom. Then I'm going to rename main. I don't know what's going to happen to the window. No, that's going to break it if I do that, so let's probably not. Rename this as T3. Well, yeah, I'm doing this anyway. T3.py. Yeah, keep. So my diffs are also. This is going to be annoying. No, I need to start here. If I rename, I need to rename this one first for obvious reasons. T3. And then this is T2. T2. Okay, one more, and then I move on to something a bit more interesting than this, because frankly, and so this is T2. I just said rename T2. Yeah, it keeps saying me a file or folder with that stuff already exists or whatever. Are they hidden? Is there a and then I'm going to again duplicate the original. Rename it as main, and then on to task 4. Display menu, send Morse code, send receive message, which are existing function we're changing. We've established I was going for cyan for this. This is fetching, color of the sky, the blue. And a new subroutine I'm going to create with some light gray. Transmit Morse code, which will be one parameter to list Morse code from send receive, and then transmit what they're going to do. Okay. It's going to call send. It's going to be modified to return the message of printing it out. Oh, to return. Yeah, to return. Oh, yeah. So act as a actually function. Yes. But yeah, what are you going to do with transmit? And store it in the file. Just like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, right. This thing. Yes. Let's do it. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. That's good because then we're touching files. That's excellent. All right, let's take it in order. Display menu, send Morse code down up. Well, let's take it from the way the user will encounter it. The first thing is to display the menu option, which I think I'm going to want between S and P because to me it makes more sense. And if menu option equal T for transmit colon transmit Morse code bracket, and it just take the Morse code. Like send, it only take the Morse code list. Okay, let's modify send Morse code to return something. It's not particularly difficult. Just return the Morse code string, and I've just put in between, so I'm going to be consistent. One space, def transmit Morse code, which is going to be the list of Morse code set. We get it. Then ask you, me as the user for a file name. Convert so in the file, so in that order. Okay. I'm just gonna, yeah. So I need a file handle, I open, no, I find, consistent with the style, right? Capital F, capital N, file name. I hit myself is equal to input. No. Oh, then what? Morse code message to transmission signals. This, what's it do currently? So you should ask for the message first. So okay, so well, I mean, let's go for Morse code string, right? Morse code string is equal to send Morse code. Morse code. This is what's going to ask the user for to type the message, and then this is going to add enter file name colon space, and then I'm going to get a, what is this orange wiggly? I don't like this. Yeah, it's because, yeah, oh, well, calm down. We're good. We're good. We're not using it. Yeah. Our file handle hef is equal to open file, open file mode, open text mode, buffering. So just file name. I mean, in right. Okay, I might need a refresher, but Python file dot no. It's actually open technically, right? Python open file, what have you. A open function. I love it, the W free school. Yeah. In read mode, I just want to know what write mode. There's like a write T and a write A. I think I want the write A. No, I want the write T actually. The WT. Open, over open. Truncating the file first. Appending. By truncating you mean you mean overwriting, right? Default text mode, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. Just I think write is just perfectly fine. Yeah, exactly what we want. So if there is already a file with this name, it will just overwrite it. And left dot right. Now this business with the transmission signal, I wasn't super sure about that. This is the thing that worries me a bit. Uh, oh yes, I've got. That's better. And now they cancel each other out. Stop. Let me change the way over now. I think I accidentally changed it in T3. Oh, this is annoying. This is annoying. Well, this is where I get the diffs. Okay. Uh, yeah, diff file, diff patch. So don't particularly need like, it's not looking a special package for this. All right, so we just like a dispatch, but we don't have. Oh, we don't know. Actually, it doesn't have man. Probably doesn't have the manual, but probably has patch. So, right. Okay. Whoa, that's a lot of doc. Well, yeah, I could probably take it back to here. No, because I kind of want to keep that. Do I want to keep that? Yeah, I can on whatever. This is also T4 now, essentially, as I'm saying. I'm going to duplicate this one and call it main, I guess. Not before I've deleted this main. And then this is now main, in which I've got like T3 and T4, and I'm going to rename it to main for now and call it T4 and some finished task4. Now if I run it, it's got the previous one, but now we can. Okay. I've got T, and this should work now. I don't. Ah, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing now. No, I still have it, and run. Uh, did I not put the transmit then in the T, or what did I do? I've got the transmit. I think I've been just been messing around with the file a bit too much probably, but I don't really get why this. Okay, this is running main.py, right? Get menu option, which doesn't have transmit. Doesn't have T for transmit. What? Okay. Right. I've just commented at the whole of main. If I run this, nothing happens. And if I run this now, oh no, I had put the menu options, just not put in the print of the menu. Yeah, I put in the LF. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah. What's going on? I could have called it without having, to be fair, without having the option display. But here's the change: transmit Morse code, as in to file. There we go. And now it looks as as I expect. Okay. T is what we T time in message 4. .txt. I could have added a txt, but the problem I don't like, it's like transmission signal. Okay, convert the message to, like, have we transmission? Ah, that's the name of a variable. Fair enough. Oh, that's the problem. All right, so we kind of need, yeah, I think this is where we need it, right? There's the thing I didn't have, the problem we can't read the original message.txt as is. I mean, I could try, so that would be like receive, and you go to, maybe it's not been done yet. Has receive not been done? What's happening? Yeah, but like the message is not, it needs to be, I think the main expects it in, well, does it though? So it's like receive, it would be receive Morse. Well, let's have a look at receive Morse code. I thought it was kind of like, I'm sure we need to be able to get them in dash and dot so we can, go through, quickly go which is which, but maybe it does. Receive Morse code, empty string, plain text letter, decode. Okay, classic iterator. Last character is length function -1. Yeah, that makes sense as well. Okay, that's old school, I think. And whilst it's smaller, I or index and the coded letter, we get the next letter at I transmission, which moves the I, right? Because it's gonna get it gets the next thing, and then Morse code string plus face plus coded letter, plain text letter equal decode. Well, let's just, I don't have to kind of figure out. I'll just run the debugger and see what goes on there. So I need to be here and receive, and receive with a capital R. Oh yeah, message.txt. Ha. Okay. Wow. Right. So transmission is the string I'm about to read. I'm at 0, so I'm kind of reading the coded letter. Oh, we're about to get it. So we're gonna get the coded letter. I encoded letter. I have a coded letter variable presumably somewhere now. No, still no. Why am I here? Get next letter. Oh, because we just called get next letter. Okay. Um, sorry. Letter n equals first. So we know and then we get the I symbol. That's the one. Get next symbol of I transmission. So we get transmission I. Get next. Really? Okay. So yeah, fair enough. We don't really need if we was just kind of transmission bracket I, right? And then yeah. Ah, no, this is where the transmission code is decrypted. Get next symbol will convert to transmission code. Okay, so it just passes it. Yeah, and this is going to break it, right? Non-standard symbol received. This is presumably if I just keep it running. That's the one. Yeah, it's done non-standard symbol. Did it? Non-standard symbol received. Yes. Okay. So uh, it can be whatever characters, right? I can use stars or whatever. If it's one of them, it is a dot. Otherwise, it's a dash. So I'm just going to okay look at. I'm just going to ask the user, I suppose. Okay. So do I need a do I There's a decode, but we don't have an encode, do we? No, decode is plus that's the wrong term. It's kind of the get next. It's get next symbol, right? So the transmission it's for like it would be like set next symbol or like Morse transmission, I guess, is the correct one, I suppose, right? Um, okay, fine, all right. No, well, I guess I only need it for transmit. To be honest, I'm going to do it in line, as in I'm not going to create a separate function. So we're not going to write the Morse code string, right? We want the transmission, and that transmission is going to be equal to okay for symbol. As for symbol in Morse, well, let's see for character already, but Morse code string if s is equal to a dot. This is classy. Something elif s is equal to a dash colon pass. That works as well. And then that's it. No, well, else. I guess all of the spaces. No, let's make it clean. Elif s is equal to a space, a single space. I've made one too many equals. It's equal to space. Pass. An imaginary for now. Else. Why is this so slow? I think I can't be sending both individual characters and a full high definition stream. And of course, it's the character that's suffering. I hope the stream quality is okay. I got no idea. I don't think anyone watches that. All right. There's going to be some stuff there. I just want to read which one they want. It's like get next symbol. Next symbol is how we go from transmission characters. Hmm. No, so it's only going to do the first line of the file, but yeah. So I plus equal or increment 1 first. Fair enough. Yeah, because we started at 0. That is so ugly. Like the idea you signal the transmission of I with whatever I's come with, and then we add this thing, go to the next one, and then we check, right? So did that manage to complete a symbol? The problem I'm gonna have is that, well, symbol length, right? That's gonna give symbol length, and then we keep getting here signal still equal to a space, and then also it leaves to the next one, right? If it's equal to 1, what's symbol length again? Okay, so I don't know what the thing is that I'm not sure what we come in with I. I'm guessing it's like where are we in the transmission? Well, let's say it starts with a say I could trace no because I don't have the file. I think I don't have the right message. I should have a dash, I think the dots and dashes. So that transmission code. It expects spaces. It's going to have spaces in between symbols, right? So if the symbol length, at the moment, if we're at 0, right, which is at the beginning, then the symbol is a space. And then if we have to quit there, symbol is a space. But if we encounter somewhere next, right, at the first time we get it, we're going to assume it's a dot. Otherwise, then the next time we get it, plus equal 1. How is that not going to make a non-standard symbol received, though? Oh no, I misread this, right? The if is outside the, well, this is why you space the code. The if is outside the while, right? So it's just going to loop until it finds a space on end of line, and then it figures out how many symbols there were. And if the 0 was a space, if it's 3, it was a dash. So I can just, like, how would I even, okay, let's say I get equal dot space dot dash, no, that dash. Space dot dash dot space dash dash whatever, right? Okay, that's my. I think I might have the debugger running because I was kind of stuck in here. Where's do I have a breakpoint? 115. What was I doing? So this is the decode which we don't actually really need. This is the receive. I don't know why we're doing this. Oh yeah, this one a non-standard. I forgot to remove the breakpoint. That happens. Fine. Okay, we're back. Is this Python? Yes. Okay. S is equal to dot 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 space dash 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 space dot 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 space space space. And how many spaces and who's defined it? Isn't presumably the from AQA? It's gotta be the from AQA. Yes, no. Yeah, we know this. That's kind of like this is the transmission. I don't know if the transmission signal. Ah, so it's just in terms of units of time. So we need to put intervals. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, transmission signals. Here we are. Okay, so I've got oh, those are the spaces. So in between each is 2, and then 3 in between the letters, and then like 5 in between the words. Okay, so the space is modeled by. Well, you could look at it like. Look at it that every sequence is followed by, it's terminated, followed by a space, unless No, every time, and then sometimes there's extra stuff, right? So that means that you can model the space character, which is, was it 5 until 7, which that's the 3. This is where the 3 are, and the 3, okay, so this is just one space in between the letters and 3 in between the words. This has one space in between the symbols, 3 between the letters, and 5 between the words. So every time I encounter one space in the workspace, space translates to 2. Space in the Morse code translates to, single space translates to 2. I guess 3 spaces translate to 6, which makes sense. Just multiply by 3. Essentially, if I see a space, I multiply the number of spaces by 3, because then the 7th is because every single character. It makes sense to me. I don't care if it doesn't make sense to you. I get it. I managed to get there. So happy. What is happening? What is this? I want that. Okay. Right. So this was. Have we done? No. We are still. I'm still doing this. Okay. This gets really spicy really quickly. This is no. This is task 5 at least, right? No. This is task 4. Okay, no, I get it. I just need to wrap my hand around the transmission thing, which we would have time, if you were in 2018 sitting the ACE level, you would have time to do in class before you actually sit the exam. So it's not like real exam conditions. Where am I? I'm in transmit Morse code. I'm about to encode the thing. So for each of the S, if it's a dot, yeah, okay. Okay, I'm not gonna do this here. Oh, they want us to kind of then convert to transmission. This is such a bad. I'm going to take their word for it because, like, what they've asked us to do is to say convert the Morse code message to transmission after we ask for the file name. After we ask for the file name, which we're going to do. We're just not going to open the file over the thing. We'll open the file at the last minute once we know we have a valid transmission. So once I have a transmission, I'm just going to open the file and write transmission to it. So my transmission is I'm going to initialize as the empty string, and then if s is a dot, they use like what, equal, I think, right? 1. And then for this one, if it's a dash, it's 3. Nah. If it's a dot, is 1 and a space. If it's a dash, it's 3. No, forgive me. Sorry, no, I'm going to handle that separately. Because that way I can append. That was the point of noticing that extra one of the spaces is always a separator, and then I may have extra spaces. Will that work with the... I don't understand. Is it too late in the day for me for this? Am I like getting tired? Space between each thing. So if I put like, there's a space, but then I've encountered one space, which I've turned into 2. No, that's fine. Yeah, there's the thing. I take care of all of the spaces because what I do is I double them. So for every space I encounter in the file, I append 2 to the transmission. 2, 1, 2. And then I'm not going to print am I going to print unexpected? Yes, because they shouldn't get anything else. And then outside of this if structure, but inside the for, so a little bit of space is always nice, right? I will simply append a space, right? Because there's a space every time, except sometimes I may have a series of double spaces essentially before, an even number of space between that before that space that I use as a separator. It makes little sense. And then, so at this stage I have the transmission appended, and now if I'm here, I'm finished, I'm outside of the loop. So I open the file and I write the transmission, and I don't forget to close, otherwise you get a file draft. Okay, moment of truth. Of course, it never works the first time, as you know. let's look at one of those so we can verify T and then the space. And well, let's start with SOS. Too ambitious. Oh, I can't. SOS. And the file name is sos.txt. Yeah, strings don't have a pen, do they? Do they? I mean, how do you? Mm-mm. Right, sweep left to free place petition. It's not a pen. I just this must be one of like spaces alpha format map ends code and with. All right, no, I'll just simply kind of okay. So I'm going to replace sort of the dot append by. I mean, does it have a plus equal? It should have a plus equal. Come on. If it's got a plus, if it supports the plus operator, it should support the plus equal. Ah, they're not all on the same side. They're not lined up the same, so that's not going to work. So I think that works. And this going to transmission becomes equal to transmission plus. So you can't append to a string. What you're going to do is build a new string that's the old string plus the character you've just appended to it. So not as memory. You can't don't append in place because it's not a linked list. The reason you can't, by the way, the reason you can't append a string is a string is an array. Unlike the Python lists, which are not actual array, they're linked list, which makes it. Wow, is that true? Well, yeah. So you can definitely you can infinitely extend, although prepending is more efficient. SOS, and the file name is sos.txt, and I've got an sos.txt that's just appeared, and it's got well, the tempo wasn't quite right, but I guess yeah, okay. Crucially, if I receive sos.txt. What has what? Oh, is the original? I mean, this is the first time we're receiving, right? Because I wanted to have a transmission I've written myself, or certainly written the code that wrote it itself. Written myself the code that wrote it itself. You get it? Because this is the first time I'm trying to receive or decode a message. So if that's broken, then this is the first time I'm finding out. Okay, this is a bit weird. So let's do it again. I'm going to stop it and I'm going to just check some stuff in decode, I guess, right? Pointer dash pointer. I mean, this should work, right? Okay. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be like here, I guess. Boom. What do you mean? Yeah, okay. Boom. Debug up. Let's run it. Again, breakpoint 98. I'm probably it's going to take me right to the console. It is in the console. I'm going to receive sos.txt. Boom. It's hit the breakpoint, and we get dash dot letter. The pointer is 0. The symbol is dot. Is the symbol dot? Wait. So do we have like the coded letter. So we've extracted the whole letter, so that looks promising. Which we've extracted it, and this is where we find it. So it's an S, and everyone's happy. So I'm going to do it next letter. The next letter, well, still that for some reason because I'm within the loop. Sorry, yeah, that's fine. It's going to happen again, and the third time, and now it's a space. Symbol is a space. We're going to start space, and now it's still a space, and now it's still a space. Oh, because in the transmission. It's kind of a space again. Ah, and dot dot dot. What? Oh no, is that like meant to be? Is free? if I test it with the SOH, which is itself isn't free, I can't really tell when it's or what's going on, right? So it's like, fine. ABC, let's go. I can use my own thing, right? Print them. I'm going to want all one word, right? Dot dash. Well, I say all one word, obviously, right? So let's write it here. Okay, fine. I'll just like do the whole end of the thing as well. That's helpful. Dot dash separate letter, new letter, dash dot 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 space 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 dash dot space dash. Ah. I think something like this probably. I might have extraneous spaces. Four, five, ridiculous amount of spaces. Unreasonable. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to take this. I'm going to put a carriage return at the end of it, and then I'm going to take it with the carriage return. I'm going to paste it before the line, and because I know that it only reads the first line of whatever file is in transmission, so if I say receive, yeah, and sorry, receive with a big R, and do source.text. And whoa, okay, I have hit the symbol. Now the first symbol is dot dash. It's figured it out on its own. Did it? Okay. Fair enough. It is dot dash, not lying. And then it's dot dash again for some reason. Okay, I'm getting mixed up with encoded letter. And okay, can we stop? Do it again. Receive sos.text. Mm, 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 mm. The coded letter length is the letter. To be fair, it's not a bad name for the variable then, right? And then this is where we're decoding it. So we got the right coded letter. That's fine. Um, oh, and then, sorry. So I'm wondering, I'm looping on this because every time I have to go into the tree, I find it. Then there's a space, then there's a space. Then weirdly, there's another space. It seems like it's passing those, then the dot, then space, etc. Okay, so could I like, oh, I have left it running. A, E. Interesting. This is better than a zigzag task because like the code is legit broken and well, I don't know where yet. Okay, so I'm gonna want, why is the last car? We get the last car. We Morse code letter, Morse code plus space. What? Oh no, because we do it in letters. So in the Morse, yeah, no, in the Morse code we put a space. Okay, I'm just gonna, before we call decode, right? This decoding is, I think it's decoding is the problem. I don't think it's the transmission. It might be the decoding that's the problem. sos.text. Okay, so before we're going to iterate of all of the characters of the transmission, right? So we receive mode, and then so the coded letter. The coded letters. We get this. We get the next letter in the transmission. How do we get the next? Is that what's broken? Is it what's broken? Okay, what is broken? Okay. I got this coded later. I mean, to be fair, this is the Morse code string is dot dash. The plain text is nothing yet. That's fair enough. And then we build the plain. Oh, so then there's this one. I don't really need this one. I can remove it. And then let's go to the next one. I'm back here, and my plain text I've got A. I'm happy about that. And then the coded later is the string space. And is that the remaining? What's left of the Morse code string? What? Did that just get larger? There's a problem with the Morse code string, though, isn't there? Right? So like transmission, there's stuff transmission, that's transmission. That's Morse code string. Morse code string, we do not. Oh, so it's being built. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so it's printing both. That's why it looks a bit odd. What? So, well, yeah, we basically get the. What is it coded letter? Like we decode, it seems. So get next letter is the translation from the transmission, and it returns Morse code letters, and then we both kind of append it to the Morse code string that we keep for reference, and this is where then we call decode. But not, we don't call decode on the whole string. We kind of do it as we as we get the next letter from the transmission, or like read it from the file as it happened. Fine. So, okay, from the top, do it again. I want to receive Morse code with sos.txt. And okay, so that's meant to be the code string, and that's meant to be the E. So I guess there's something bit wrong with this, which is weird because that kind of looks, and it looks like so. And I know, I mean, I encoded this SOS with my correct writing. Yeah, I can convert, I can convert from Morse code transmission. Someone at AQA, or maybe past me, or maybe a past student, when I just got that file from, instead of going to the original, got something that may have been broken, or I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to blame, but like someone's to blame. Boom. Okay, the problem is here. Just going to find it. Can I do it by notional machine, simple code inspection? Well, I see some iterators, which I like. Okay, so the symbol string is the empty string. The letter end is false, whilst not letter end. The letter end is the end of a letter when we're going to a space. Now, we don't we? Uh-uh. Get next symbol. Wait a minute. Okay. We get, yes, I see. I see what's going on. So maybe it gets next symbol. That does it. At the end of the line, print end. That's good. All right. Otherwise, we look at the first character of transmission, and then while we don't enter a space, it don't enter the end of line. We increment sinus transmission I, symbol length is larger, and then once this is the problem, right? If it's length of 1, okay. Okay, where's the right spot to put a breakpoint? I'm gonna put it in each of the 3 branches, right? Because why not? Okay. Because yes, this is the thing where I don't twig that the if is not within the loop. So actually, I'm going to put 1 breakpoint instead, and just put it there, because I don't really need to go in. I can breakpoint an empty line, right? Okay. Stop it, run it from the debugger. It's asking for stuff, I'm sure. I want to receive with a big R because I've not done task 1 yet. And I want sos.txt. Txt. Okay, so I've hit the breakpoint. We've just incremented symbol length. Okay, signal, which was the first thing of the transmission, which is a space, which I mean, that's bizarre to start with, because is there a space there? No. Transmission doesn't start with a space, but the signal, signal. What's I then? 1. I knew this was going to trip us up. Okay. So get next symbol, which is called from below. It's called from I. Get next letter, or however, we were there earlier on, right? And I think we get the whole call stack, right? Because we got receive Morse code was called there. I is equal to 0. How did I become equal to 1? Ah, I know, because the first one was the end of the. Okay, get next. We are in get next symbol. No, no, sorry, we just incremented I because it's the first thing we do, and then we've just incremented symbol length. Did we? Because, oh, is it like before this line? Is it what's going to tell me? Okay, let's see if we can just one by one. A symbol length is becoming 21. Okay, I'm happy. Right, so we're still not a space. We don't have an end of line. The next step is going to be if the symbol length, which we again, that's equals to one. That's a dot. So that symbol, and then we're gonna what space then? Like signal is transmission of I. So we're gonna match the empty string, surely, right? And then yes, and that's gonna return the symbol because we've matched the empty string. We're gonna assign it to it's gonna assign it to the variable symbol and get next letter. Test if it's space. It isn't because symbol is the dot, right? And if we're not at the end of the line, I guess like we should hash terminate I mean, notionally, you would kind of hash terminate those. I mean, they don't even terminate their lines, right? But like, well, then terminate with a space technically, right? But I would kind of like, I don't know if it matters a lot, but yeah. So yeah, if they don't give you working code, it's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Um, hmm. So this is the thing that decodes the symbol into transmission. I need to throw it up something harder though, because this is just decoding symbol by symbol, not letter by letter. So, well, what if it started with a? Okay, my prediction. Right, I see what the problem is. Okay, that's the thing. The thing that's puzzling me. Something was puzzling me because some it will translate, others not, and I can tell you which one it will. Is the one that are on the left side of the tree. Okay, so it's going to handle dots correctly. It doesn't handle dash correctly. That's why it does A, E. So if I do like war, J, W, A, R, if I use those as my text, well, I can say J, W, A, R, how do that? Well, all the dot ones, right? So like anything that starts with a dot. So something like, I don't know, dot, 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 dash, not a dash, right? Dot. I say dash is dash, dot, dash, dot. End of line. Okay, if I decode this, I'm pretty sure it's going to work. The file name is still sos.txt, and we only read the first line. Wow. Okay. 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 Let's do it again. Wow. How did I? What's happening? So clearly, I've added an actual end of line, and I mean, hold on. This can't be right. Like other text, like, oh, this thing is absolutely buggered. I refuse to believe this has come out of AQA like this. Who writes this code? And do they give him or them or she their own little office to get away from the noise, or do they work straight from the ward of the psychiatric hospital? What kind of like Gotham, like Arkham Asylum, comic book supervillain madness is this? Okay, this was task 4. Task 5, get transmission, full in text. No. It's not. None of that is like just unbreak this broken thing. Um, so you know what? I'm just not gonna put the pound sign. That's all, right? Because I think it's not wise. Run again. Okay, capital R. SOS.text. Well, I mean, EIAA. Is that what I meant to say? E dash dot A, and then dash dot dash is not one. Now, is that dash dot dash not okay, dash dot dash dot dash meant to be Q. No, sorry, dot dot dash dot is meant to be R. So not only is and I think it's probably the same problem. There's this idea of like the incapacity of, so it's not just dots, right? So like any letter that's only dots, so like EISH. So I can spell Aish, Aish. So Aish will work because it's only made of dots. The rest are going to be broken, right? I look at how it's misunderstood my, right? It's dropped that last dot in the more string. And then weirdly it's giving me non-standard simple receiver that was probably in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a breakpoint next to non-standard yeah, report error. You joking? You've made your own error handling function. That was the useful thing to do. I'm supposed to... Yes, that's the most important part of this code. What does that do? Yeah, you can. There's a dot format to string to the string class as well, if you fancy. That's to make spaces, I guess, right? To make this kind of cute little thing, and then yeah, it's just. I mean, so this isn't it funny that like this is in, and Mr. Barra doesn't know about this off the top of his mind. When like AQA, which frankly I've not, I've not proven themselves to be very on. The thing is that this is delivered to more than one language, so I think there's definitely Java, probably even Visual Basic, and hopefully that's it. But the point is, that's why you see stuff where like, why is it doing iteration like that when it could use a for or whatever? But that's because unlike the F string, which I've shown before, this type of thing, the dot format, special character, this is coming straight from C. That Python is kind of plays along quite well with, right? Not as well as Tickle, as another scripting language, but as far as kind of sometimes you want a bit of, okay, what's the problem? Yeah, so you're gonna fine, put your breakpoint wherever you want. Happy with that, and then run from the debugger. So now I'm just gonna, I just want to run in 71. I just want to kind of like, let's run, go to the console, receive source.text. And then yes, so we are at the error. Like, what is the non-standard symbol that was received? It was the hash, which is not even in the sos.txt file. So I'm going to ask I want to see the manager on this one because it's like there's no way. What is happening? So it's complaining about a character. Oh, transmission is this, line break, the hash, and then okay, where is that called from? Get next symbol. Get next letter, and get next letter is called from receive Morse code. So it's not added. It wouldn't add. And receive Morse code is called from. Okay. It's called from send receive Morse code, right? Transmit Morse code. Oh, because I'm in the middle of writing the thing. But it's bizarre that it didn't fold nicely. Okay, receive Morse code then, I guess. Receive. I'm I'm just slightly confused because it did ask me. It did say enter file name, right? And I'm like, where is the input where I was asked to enter the file name? Yeah, where is that? This is mine. This is transmit. Get transmission. Where have you been, get transmission? Where have you been hiding? What is your dark secret? Are you the one breaking the AQA skeleton code. Is this from oh yeah, receive Morse code, fair enough, right? So get transmission. Well, I should really look at the well, no, I have the transmission. It's in the debugger. This is where I find that like apparently this thing. So well, let's look at what get transmission does then. Okay, you're stripping the training plates and you've added an end-of-line character, and then because I it doesn't recognize it as an end or line. So it's not complaining about the non-standard symbol. It's complaining about the fact that I have a line break. So it only reads the first line because it only expects one line. Okay, but fine. Sorry, I've confused get transmission. Right, okay. This is super badly terminated, right? If you've written a line, if the file is empty, the file is empty. Well, anyway, it's customary to have a new line at the end of the file, mostly so the diff plays nice, because that way all lines are more equal. Whereas here the last line doesn't have a new line character, it just have an end of file character, like Terminator at the end. Anyway, I'm just I feel like I'm salty because like yeah I got like sidetracked on this thing. No hard feeling against the offer of this wonderful code base, but let's see if we can fix it. Right. EIIERO. Oh no, that worked this time. So it's not a matter of dots. Well, I think it was a matter of the line break must have broken it, but I'm not sure why. So the line break will break it and it breaks the last character. So it is actually working. It was just like it doesn't handle fine. I just need to how do I do that? So in get transmission, I can fix get transmission so it's I just raised it will sell actually, doesn't it? Strips the string spaces and then yeah, it's just a read line. It reads a single line from it. Okay. So in the strip leading and trailing spaces, let's just do strip. No. Yeah, because there's a Python strip, but it checks if this thing is the thing, and then it keeps doing that for all the last and first until it's got it. The thing is that it tests for space. Fine. I'll just bulletproof it a little bit, and the new line is literally well, actually, I can just do \n, right? Because that's the new line character. So new line is \n, which is over there, right? And then okay, in space, well, animated set or small list essentially. Space, come on, new line. Ah, I forgot about this thing. It's something I wanted to set to the year 12s. Okay, and strip leading. You don't expect some spaces in the leadings. It's a new line of leading, but for the training space, maybe a new line. Excellent. So there, I have fixed it. So now I can have this, not a huge difference, and it will still receive AEIR or whatever I was trying to type. EIAR. Old MacDonald at the farm. Okay, so no, hold on. Let me just. Okay, is my transmission working then? Yeah, it is working. And their reception is working. It's just that I've broken the message. It wasn't clear as to mine. I panicked. I panicked. Fair enough. I did panic. But it was so smart because it was just a read line. The message is help me. I am trapped in an AQA skeleton code base. Just to give it a bit of a challenge. Boom. And full stop. I should have put a full stop at the end. Cool. Okay, can I receive it and get it back in plain text? That would be nice. And then I can say, wow, that is spectacular. Okay, to be fair, it was a long message, so I can see why it would have broken like that. But there's this thing. Now, this has happened a number of times, like almost every word, but the H is correct, and then it just collapses from there. This is good. Okay, so I think SOS did work. Let's try. That's the thing. Yeah, SOS was the first test case because the second one was going to be T space X because we checked that a single word would work, and then we need to check that at least first space, and that's the only two kind of degrees of complexity in test cases we have. So let's first send a help tx. Okay, fine. T and x to. Oh, that was just send. Sorry, we want transmit. We want t x big X tx in t dot text. Very good. And then it can receive it from t dot text. And okay, to you. Spectacularly well. Again, we're debugging it one bug at a time. That's great. So again, I'm gonna. Do I still have the breakpoint on the? I probably have still even the breakpoint on the line, right? So just go in here, and we're gonna receive t. Maybe my encoding, to be fair, this time, right? Let's have a look at t.text. I don't even know what it's meant to look like. I don't even know what it's meant to look like. So I feel like, is that what it's, well, then we have the here, right? They have just given this very example, and in fact, this one I picked this example. So that's the Morse code. And so that should be 3 dashes, 3 spaces, 1 dash. Okay. Well, sorry, the Morse from AQA. The Morse is dash dot dot dash dot dot dash. Sorry, dash dot dot dash T E A. Sorry, dash space dot. So then the A is dot dash. 3 spaces for the space, and then the X is a complicated 4. That's actually a pretty good message, right? Because you get a mix of various character length. And in transmission, it should be okay. Is this the correct string? So it's dot dash spaces. 3 spaces? That's 3 spaces. I'm not completely 3 spaces. So in transmission, so the Morse code, the Morse string is, it feels like the Morse string is correct. And the transmission is 3 dashes, 3 spaces, 1 dash, 3 spaces, dot dash. And then, is that the right number of spaces? Is that what we're moaning about? Is that the problem? So that's 7 because it's in between 2 words, right? We've established that. And here I'm at colon 18, and now I am at colon 28. Right. Spaces in the spaces in the Morse string are spaces between letters. They're real spaces. And those should be free spaces. But then spaces between words are more spaces. But those are the real spaces. Sorry, there's no space between letters. They're not real spaces, so they're more spaces, right? Real spaces are free, so they will, in Morse, so they will actually convert to 6. How did I end up with 4? Well, I thought I was being clever with the... There's no way. There's no way you can be expected to wrangle. I'm gonna have a look to like the examinator's notes of the AS level 2018 and see them all saying, "Oh, I understand. Students really struggle with this." Okay. So my problem is how I handle spaces, and in fact, okay, I know I know where I am. It's the new function called transmit Morse code. Like, so this is actually a problem in my code. That's fair enough. If I have one space in the Morse code, just a one space. So one space is a letter boundary. So I double it and it becomes 3 because I add 1. But in those 3 spaces, well, double, which is going to become 6. Or should become 6. Did I put 3? Is that... No, that's 2. Tell you what, I'm going to put a breakpoint at the place where we add those spaces and see what is going on with this. Okay, stop everything. Debugger, I don't want to put a 72. Anyway, it's not something I'm going to test this time. Run it. I want to This is running, yes? Okay, and choice. Transmit TAX and yeah, because I've not translated, I've not converted, translated it, transmission, transmitted it, whatever. The file name is t.text. Right, and I have hit the breakpoint. Values now. The Morse code, that's the Morse code string is the Morse code string. The transmission string at the first space. There's 3 and a space. Ah, it's 3 and a space. That's my problem. So I can't really afford to do that because I've got 2, but there's 3 total in the space. So there should like 1. Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going. Wait, do I need to make like a state machine to count? Because this is essentially what they do, right? They kind of while until they hit the boundary, and then they see how many there were. Okay, so if it's a space, it's either 1 space or 3 spaces. So how do I? Because I'm iterating for each with the Python, so I can't just kind of like move the index and kind of suck it into all of this. Let me make a truth table. When in doubt, what's this? Kind of write on this. Oh gosh, I've forgotten about this. Scrap paper, evidently. Okay, pen. So if I get 1 space, it becomes, well, if I get no space between my dots, and it actually becomes 1 space, right? So that's 1 space. And then for each space, no, that's not going to work. We've got 3 space. So 3 space need to become 7. Oh, this is so annoying. If I can find the right algebra. So it's not this file. 3 space become 7 total. 1 unit of the dot dash, 2 extra unit of the character. Okay. Oh, what we could do is 2 extra unit of each character. And then if after that, so I need a special case. So if I get a space, I can't look at the next one though. I'll just, fine. Fine, I'm making a state machine. I'm technically making a small state machine rather than actually doing explicit iteration here. You know what? Because why not? So what I'm going to say is that space is going to store, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, whatever, however kind of few, I don't even know what's going on. I've had like 81 viewers. Oh, um, yeah, I'm not looking at the chat. That's probably an hour ago. I'm sure they're gone. Yeah, I'm not doing this for the. It's not about interacting with the audience. I'm just coding, right? Right. I can kill that breakpoint. I don't need that. So text t. Oops. Close that. White. What's happening? Not space. I'm going to call it space with a big S. Right. Space is a boolean. Okay. Wait. One extra time. It's almost simplification listing an extra 2 time unit. What? Between characters, no. Oh, between characters, an extra 2 times unit. So I'm just lost here. Oh, between characters, as in between letters. Yeah, okay. Hmm. It's the 7 that's the problem, right? So it's like, no, that sound between words, an extra 4 time unit. I think I'm starting to struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to feel the mental fatigue. Um, it feels like this doesn't match the conversion to do it, right? So okay, a dash is one, oh, an extra 2 times unit, so 3 in total between letters. Um, so there's my problem, right? So if it's a space, then make it 3, because that's like in between letters, and then but then I've set space to true, which means that if I'm in space, I'm going to expect a second space. Well, I'll tell you what, I actually, instead of true and false, I'm just going to have like count the number of spaces I haven't counted. So I'm expecting no space. Uh, okay, and then if space above this though, if if I just do if space, this is going to make me do if space is larger than 0, strictly larger than 0. Pass, hard pass, else. Come on, don't get the carriage return. How do you expect me to code? All right, else the transmission is. So that means this is the first time. On the first, a first space gets 3, but if you encounter a second one, you know you are going to encounter a third one. Um, so the second one you get 3, and the third one you get 1. Right. So if space is larger than 2, instead if you've not encountered if you've not encountered 2 spaces already, you mm, you add 3 space. Otherwise, you have encountered 2 spaces already, and to make a total of 7 spaces, because end of letter 3 and then end of word 4, I'm going to add only 2. Mm-mm. Okay, let's send TX. Wow, spectacular. Oh, sorry, it doesn't know about it doesn't know about lowercase letters. Yes, that's why. That's why it can't encode. And I don't want to send it anyway. I want to transmit it, and it's TX. Okay. This is kind of looking correct, right? The three letters and then a space, and it's going to be go to t dot text and overwrite it, and there it is. And is that so? If I now receive t dot text, just I'm walking away from this. I guess it's too late. I need to have a look tomorrow. But like, if like you can't get past task 4, I feel like it's probably unfair of me to expect. I mean, unless this is a different version of the file. Um, no, because the problem's not in the file. I fixed a couple of minor things in the file, but it was more to be robust, right? Like I was kind of being a bit ambitious, having like a multiple line file. Anyway, I went to task 4, kind of nearly there. Can't even do zigzag. I'm just trying to get TX going. And tea time, actually, for example, that was the example. Well, that looks like T. I know T looks like this, right? And then that's the T. That's an I. Is this an I? Dot dot? Yeah, dot dot is the I. I've spent enough time of this to be able to read the Morse code when it's expressed in like those silly little equal signs in kind of various amounts. Anyway, that's enough streaming. Why is that not alt tabbing? Is that because I'm in Word and that's a reserved? Yes, that's why. No. It's because I'm tapping caps lock. What is going on? Oh, I accidentally. No. Um, Hello. Where's OBS? There it is. Okay, I'm gonna get there. All right. Um, this is goodbye. Yes. The sun has set. So did I spend 2 hours on this? Do I have a time? Oh yeah, 2 hour 8 minutes. All right. Full task, including however long on that last one. But it's just because I'm gonna be honest, I'm flagging a bit in terms of energy, and my pride is hurt. I'm not gonna lie, my ego is peaked, and so now it's personal, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Even if I have to do an old school iteration when I'm not even going to do a for, the element in the list, not even going to do a for I in range, because range is after all a function from the standard Python library, but I'll do I becomes equal to 0, and while I is smaller than the limit, and so on, like some kind of caveman. Well, this has fired me up. Something. I don't want to be tempted and like kind of get back to it whilst I'm not streaming, because that would just mean that I've not done it live because I don't want to be like seen taking time on this. But I clearly need to spend time on this code base, and I'm happy to do it live. I don't think anyone is watching. I see I got a couple of kids over there. Hi, sir. Hey, hi. Sure. What is going on? Wow. Ludus space. Brent. Oh, wow. Okay. No, fair enough. I apologize for lack of engagement, I suppose. But yeah, this is me. I'm watching myself like rage quit task 4. Okay, end stream. Goodbye.